She's going to get off, perhaps because of postpartum depression. So that's what people are saying. Whether she should get what's coming to her, which I think should be the death penalty. She did kill people.
And tortured them. There was torture involved here, and nobody else has used that word. There was torture involved. She took those children one by one, held them underwater, had to watch their little faces. This isn't a question of a passionate thing.
Now you're picking this.
Yeah, but are you saying this is she chased her 7-year-old down after he saw what she was doing to her 6-year-old?
Do you really need to pile on with the torture?
You bet.
She drowned her kids. You know, let it go at that.
Insanity is an established defense, and I'm not saying it pardons anybody, but it is if she's found that she was clinically depressed. What about her husband, who knew that she was on antidepressants, and her doctor?
Why did they have a 5th child, in fact, after a suicide attempt?
Exactly.
Why is everybody trying to blame her husband?
No, it's not blame. It's that if she were in fact going through that, depression can really change everything.
But he took her to the doctor. He believed that she was getting the care that she needed.
Maybe not homeschool them. I mean, that's a great thing, but 5 children, maybe
for homeschool.
Oh, it's not a great thing.
You know?
It's an awful, stupid thing.
Well,
because if your parents are nuts, then there's no other sort of controlling factor.
Exactly.
But everybody who doesn't homeschool doesn't kill their kids. Everybody who's depressed. You can't go back and say, oh, you know, they were...
Pressure off.
What?
Just to take some of the pressure off if she was already depressed, already taking antidepressants, had a suicide attempt.
But there are warning signs when she tried to kill herself before.
Yes. Still, you have to take responsibility. I mean, if we're going to lay it off on depression or anger, I mean, there are people that go out and kill people because they were angry.
Real. I was in the hospital years ago.
I never said it wasn't real.
I had shock therapy, and it is real.
Oh, I never said it
was real.
But what do you do when somebody kills other people because of it? Because I keep saying on the show, let's kill the right people. I'm not against the death penalty, just let's kill the right people.
But Bill, in her defense, you don't have children.
Good point.
Yes. And you've never had a baby.
I never had a baby.
I got a 13-year-old. I want to smack that water thing sounds pretty ominous.
No, but see, I don't understand. I guess what it comes down to is I don't understand why every life is so precious. I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about this woman's life. She tried to commit suicide. She was depressed. Now she's killed her children. What could happen in this woman's life after this that would put any meaning to preserving it?
You know, I think there's a good chance that's what she's done here. She didn't have the guts to go through with suicide the first time, and now she wants the state to do it for her.
But I mean, what could become of her life now if we didn't put this woman to death?
It's a hard act to follow. I mean,
it is.
It's really, you know, where do you go from there?
Right. You're not going to go on the talk show circuit, you know, and talk to women's groups about...
Oh, yes, you could.
Yeah. Yeah, you
absolutely. She could be out in 7 years and be doing, not this show.
Don't you think anybody that kills anybody is crazy?
She could be.
You know,
yes, that's a good point.
That's part of there are consequences, of course. I think she needs to be hospitalized. In fact, if
we go that route, then we're going to have to be willing to have a doctor come in 2, 3, 6 months from now who says, okay, she is now competent and she's going to be turned loose.
Not necessarily. I mean,
okay, so then if you don't turn her loose, you're basically warehousing someone for their whole life.
How many people are in prison? I mean, how many people are we feeding and housing?
Well, we shouldn't do that either.
No,
let's just get rid of everybody.
Well, let's get rid of everybody who's not really living for any good damn reason. If someone
or open up some of the prisons.
If someone is just being
prisons who are filled with these victimless these people have been put in for the victimless laws.
Yeah, well,
if we get rid of some of those, then we could have room for these people.
Hey, babe. Now you're on my side. You're talking about drug offenders, people
I'm talking about a lot of different things. I think we do need to look at, but I know that's a whole nother show.
Yes.
But yes, I am talking about that.
Always one I'm happy to do. But yes, I mean, if we're going to put this woman into an insane asylum for the rest of her life and anesthetize her on drugs, that basically it's a living lobotomy, I don't understand why that life is precious. Start over. Go back into the reincarnation pool. She's never going to get past this. Why salvage it?
How about taking it one step further, which is the same thing they should have done with McVeigh, is rather than kill this guy, put him in a work camp somewhere and let him give something back. Let him be a slave for 12 hours a day and get creamed by some 6'10", 300-pound man in his cell every night. And you know what? That's a punishment. And I think you're absolutely right. I think this woman is going to let the state do it for her. And I think McVeigh was the same thing. I think that was political suicide. He wanted to die, and now the government's the big problem. Yeah. Well, it's not.
Well, that's crueler than what I'm saying.
What I'm saying.
You're saying. Where do you draw the line of somebody's value in life? That's all. And I'm for the death penalty, so I'm not.
I'm just saying if life isn't really life.
But according to Bill.
Well, do you think? Well, I am unfortunately not the king.
Here you are.
I think it'd be a better world if I was, but no, I am not the king. But where you don't draw a line here? What could this woman's life be? How could this life be of any value? How can you get over killing your children and then go on? What are the choices? Either we kill her, or she's in an insane asylum, or what is the other choice? That she's...
It's just so if you're responsible for your actions, and that's the issue, not the value of her life, but if you're responsible for your actions. And that remains to be seen through the court.
And she had the wherewithal to get on the phone after she did this horrific act.
I don't know all the details.
It took a good 30 minutes to do. She got on the phone. She did. She got on the phone. She very calmly called her husband, said, "You need to come home. I've injured the children." She got on the phone to the police and said, "You need to do a welfare check."
Well, that sounds pretty ruthless.
On second thought, kill her! No, I'm just kidding. No, but
I don't know the details. I'm just saying that, you know.
You don't need to know the details. That's my point. You don't really need to know the details. I mean, what more can you say about this except that's what she did, and at some point we could all excuse every crime. We seem to go back with every crime and describe the motive. This guy was beaten by his dad, this guy. And yes, I mean, sad people commit bad crimes, but at the end of the day,
yeah, you're accountable.
You gotta be
what happened to the woman in South Carolina who drove the kids in the water? I mean, what happened to her?
She's on death row, I think.
Yes, and she's also engaged to Tommy Lee. No, I'm kidding. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. According to a former aide, the creator of the show The Power Rangers has met with Bill Clinton, and they're developing a Bill Clinton action figure, which would be sold at the Clinton Library gift shop in Arkansas. It's an interesting doll. You pull some strings, it gives you a pardon. Well, the mayor of New York, Rudolph Giuliani, is coming out with a book called Rudy's Rules. One of his rules, right from The Godfather, this one: keep your friends close and your enemies closer. In fact, sometimes they're so close they're living right there in your own house. That's... All right. Let's lighten things up and talk about guns.
Oh, yeah.
No, I said that this is because I know this is your topic. This is what propelled you to be a representative there in Texas, and you've been shot.
I've been shot, so I get to talk about it.
So have I.
What unfortunate booking this is.
Yes. I was shot, actually, on the last one would think would be against gun control, because I was shot protecting my 3-year-old son where a .38 was in his reach, and I, knowing nothing about guns and hating them, picked it up and it shot through the hip and out. So you'd think I'd hate them, but I think I believe in the Second Amendment. I think what you're doing is great.
Well, and what you want specifically is for more people to be able to carry concealed weapons pretty much everywhere, right?
Let me make it real clear that I kind of believe in what they refer to as the Vermont-style carry, which in Vermont, they believe in the Second Amendment. There are no rules, there are no regulations, and it's one of the safest states there are.
Well, that's because there's no one there. But don't you think people should be able to... Don't you pack a gun everywhere you go? Don't you think that people should have guns in churches?
No. I think anyone who wants to...
really, no?
I really believe that I believe in your right to carry a gun or not carry a gun. If you are a voting person, you're in the majority, in other words, you're 21 years of age or older, you haven't been found, you haven't had a felony offense or anything like that, I believe you should be able to carry concealed weapons or not.
concealed or
How about
not.
learning
In
how to use
Arizona,
That would-
Arizona, they used to carry, they had a law where you could carry not concealed. Now they also have concealed carry, but you could do it
don't
either
you
way.
think you should require that they learn how to use the gun? I mean, we all have cars out there with keys in it, and we can't let our kids just go riding down the
But there's a
street.
difference, and I completely agree with you that anytime you're dealing with a deadly weapon, you're an idiot if you don't go out there and learn how to use it.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is,
But
when
make
you
it
start
mandatory,
comparing,
not an idiot.
when you start comparing, but then it becomes a permission thing instead of a right.
You earn the right. You earn the right to have.
That's
You
the
can't go
difference.
drive
That's
without
permission.
earning your license.
And you're talking
You
about
have to
getting
pass
a
something.
permit.
Getting a
And that
permit,
word
you have
comes
to-
from the word permission, and that negates the word right.
Except that...
But it's the same thing as
That I
driving.
don't
That's what
agree with.
Jennifer's
No, it is
saying.
not. There is nothing in the
Because you can
Constitution.
kill somebody
There is
because you don't know how to drive.
Right.
Absolutely nothing in the Constitution that gives you the right to
Well, there
drive.
I
There's a huge difference.
I differ with you there. I
Yeah,
think
but somehow we
need to
regulate
know.
that. We
Right.
regulate everything from cars to ketchup in this country.
Would you like free speech regulated?
Well, free speech
How
is
about
regulated.
prayer regulated?
Free speech is
It is.
regulated right now. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There's a lot of reasons
I
why.
thought you were going to say something else that started with F.
You can't do that either in certain circumstances.
The campaign finance debate that is going on now, that's the Supreme Court just basically said today that this can be regulated. So things are regulated. We don't live in a world where anything goes, and it just
But
amazes
your
me.
rights end. This goes back to almost like the drug debate that we started into earlier. Your rights end at the point that you become an aggressor upon my rights.
Yes,
But
of course.
it's just like learning
it's
how
not
to
that
use
simple.
the weapon as a
I believe it is
requirement.
that
If you're gonna
simple.
carry
you
a
have
gun-
to be responsible.
You know, what do you think of this? I was reading this in Rolling Stone. There's a gun that you can buy, anyone can. It's called the Big Gun.
Got one.
It's
Did I know that?
listen to this. It's a 50 caliber sniper rifle. It can shoot from a mile away. It can blast through bulletproof
Most
glass,
rifles can shoot from a mile
bulletproof
away.
glass and cinder block. The bullet is this long. It has more powder than a hand grenade, and you can buy it just like you could a .22 at Walmart.
But it's not who has
You
the
think
gun
that's
or how
okay?
big it is.
No.
It's who's got the gun. I mean, as
Well,
as Scott,
anyone.
Mr. Scott said about his daughter in Columbine, it wasn't the gun that killed her. It was the individual. And he's talking about Cain and Abel.
Well-
It wasn't the club that killed Abel.
22 calibers kill more people than anything else.
It doesn't
It's
matter
not
what kind
the
of gun.
caliber.
Believe me, I know.
Very well
Wait a
put.
second.
It's very well put.
We're talking, let's just answer this question.
Bigger is
Because it
better.
does get to the idea whether the Second Amendment, which, by the way, does not refer to the world we live in now. That is the huge lie of the NRA.
the British.
The huge lie of the NRA is that our
absolutely
democracy
does.
depends
No.
on guns. That was written for an infant nation about a
I couldn't
militia.
disagree with you more.
Well,
Could
thank
not
God.
disagree with you more.
Well, what do you think about this? If guns are necessary to support our democracy, should that go up to this? Should we have a gun here that it's 4 feet long, it fires a bullet that long, through bulletproof glass, cinder block walls from a mile away? You need that to defend yourself?
No, but if you're not going to use it in an adverse manner,
It's not
you don't
about
need
me.
it.
I'm not worried about me buying
I'm
it.
worried about anybody that buys a gun, whether it's a little one or a big one, that don't know what they're doing and what their intent is.
Well, I think if they buy this one, they know what they're doing.
Right, but I mean, so you
Bill's point is that guys like Timothy McVeigh, there's that name again, would buy a gun like that and do damage
but they
with
buy
it.
grenades and...
But it's a lot harder to
Not do his
conceal.
They just
damage
had somebody
with a gun.
go in with
He did it
knives.
with a
Wait.
bomb.
Wait,
with
just
fertilizer.
One second.
Listen, in
Oh, they made
Japan,
something
which
with
has
gun
very,
shows.
very
Whoa, whoa.
strong gun control.
Yes.
They just went in, and they don't have guns, but somebody went into a school and stabbed 26
Yes.
kids.
And if he had a gun, he would have killed
It doesn't matter his
126 kids.
intent.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, but what I'm saying is they'll blow him up with a bomb.
What do you mean they'll find some way? You can't...
Timothy McVeigh killed more people than 26
A
people.
gun is
Right.
a tool. It's a tool. It can be used to
You
kill
can
a
use
family. It can be used
you
to
can get a
protect
bomb.
family.
If you're sick and twisted and going to hurt somebody, you're going to do it
It's
anyway.
a tool.
Well, exactly. I'm not against someone owning a gun. A gun.
But you don't
to
like the
defend
idea of my
their home.
owning 10
I'm saying
guns.
we regulate everything, as you said, with cars. The idea that this is so sacrosanct, the most dangerous thing in society, we have to keep kids away from
Oh, wait a
everything
minute.
from
Whoa,
beer
the
to
most
pot
dangerous
to
thing in
video
society?
games,
Excuse
but
me?
guns, let's not go
Car
near
accidents.
that.
Car accidents kill far more people.
And that's why we regulate cars.
But don't use the phrase.
That's why you
but
can't.
Don't use the phrase that it is the most dangerous thing in society, because that is absolutely false. Aspirin is more dangerous.
Then guns?
More people die of aspirin overdose than they do, for that matter, of all the illegal drugs in the country. That's a fact.
That is a fact I'd like to check.
If somebody walked in here...
Aspirin overdose kills more people.
Aspirin overdoses and reactions kill more people than the illegal drugs.
How much aspirin would you have to take?
I was going to say, I should be dead a long time ago.
Wait a second. How many aspirin do you have to take to get an overdose like that?
I've taken as many as 80, and I'm fine.
In fact, he was asking you for
And you have not had a headache since 1971.
That's right, baby.
All right, we have to take a commercial.
Join us this week on Politically Incorrect when Bill's guests will include from the NBA champion Lakers, Rick Fox. From the new movie Cats and Dogs, Elizabeth Perkins. Actress and model Daisy Fuentes. And the Man Show's Adam Carolla.
A new study out says that 19% of kids on the internet have gotten unwanted solicitation for sex. Wow. Police say it's usually an adult posing as a teenager, and she usually goes by the name Madonna. Okay, we don't have too much time. I did want to bring this up because I saw that. I guess we've all seen this in the news. There's a new Bible coming out. I call it the Bible Swimsuit Edition. It has erotic pictures.
Erotic?
Erotic
No,
pictures.
they were erotic.
Well, they're naked because they are in the Bible.
Right.
It's who was posing as Adam and Eve? It was
Claudia Schiffer's Eve.
Claudia Schiffer's Eve and Marcus Pamela Anderson's old boyfriend.
Exactly.
Something is.
Mark Maher.
No,
right.
that's not true.
It is true.
I think that's still rumored as far as.
Do you see everything?
No, it's come.
Do you see Adam's? I mean, do you see Eve's?
Bigly?
Apple? I don't know. But they say this is a way to get more people interested, and I never understand this. If it's the Word of God, and it's fundamentalists would say it's the Word.
This the word.
Why do we have to constantly be getting people into the temple with these tricks?
I think it's great.
Can I say something interesting?
No, seriously, I've been collecting. Let me just say this: it's one of my big hobbies. I collect biblical action figures, and I'm very proud because I just got the new G.I. Joseph. Anyway, go ahead.
The kids respond. They want to see, if they want to see Jesus as victorious and buff, great. As long as they get in the Word.
It's like those Marine commercials, where the guy becomes a knight. And what they don't show is eating, lousy food in the cafeteria, which is what the guy's really doing in the Marine Corps.
I got to tell you, you know what? I was raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma in a Christian family, and I heard about this, and I thought, ooh, yuck, I'm going to not like it, I'm not going to like it. And I haven't seen it yet, but I thought about it again, and I thought, you know what? If it gets people talking about what they really believe, what their beliefs really are, if it gets it to teenagers who can relate to it, we got to move with the times. We got to move with the times.
If we move with the times, why don't we just get rid of the Bible?
Because
we have to take a break. I'm sorry.
EI is going to the Big Apple. If you'll be in the New York area July 17th through the 19th and would like free tickets, call 1-800-648-6100.
All right, we will continue this on another night tomorrow. Michael McKean, Elizabeth Perkins, who is that? Regina Hall and Floyd Brown.